are back with the Baystate Bears, who are currently the hottest team with the best record in hockey. The Bruins are 11-1 on the season at this point on November 11th with 11 wins. But yeah, right now you're leading the race in the Atlantic Division. Florida Panthers, mind you, at 8-4. Red Wings 7-5, and then Tampa 6-4, Toronto 7-5, and Buffalo 7-6. Those are Tampa, Buffalo, and Toronto. Of course, Florida. Those are four teams that I think are way better than their record. But right now the Bruins are on top, which is really cool to see. In the Metropolitan, you have the New York Rangers at 10-2. So they're right behind you. But Bruins are leading their division. And then if you look at the Western Conference, Central not so much. I mean, Dallas Stars leading it at 8-3 with Colorado Avalanche at 8-4. And the Winnipeg Jets are another good team, but for starters, the Stars and the Avalanche are some of the best teams in hockey right now, and the Bruins, we're going to get into that. They just took down the Dallas Stars in a big game. Of course, the Golden Knights are the other team you have to keep your eyes on at 12-2. Vancouver Canucks at 10-2. So the Knights are the real team that I'm always looking at in the Pacific right now, I'll be honest. But anyways, the Bruins, with a big week, they just came off a win against the New York Islanders. They won 5-2. Charlie Coyle gets the first hat trick of his career. And I mean, at the end, Pastrnak was like, I've had enough hat tricks. So he passed it right off. Charlie Coyle gets it. He had a great game. 3 goals, 1 assist, 4 points on 6 shots. Beautiful stuff. You also had a goal out of Pastrnak. And then Trent Frederick got another goal for you. Great stuff to see. The third line center doing good things. We've talked about the line shifts more in the last pod, but Coyle as that punch, great to see in the center role. So the big game we're going to talk about is the Bruins versus the Dallas Stars. You got a goal out of Johnny Beecher in this game, which is wild. Johnny Beecher gets a goal. You get Marchand gets a goal, and the new kid on the block, the Lohrei. This kid is brand new on the ice, right? He is challenging for Grizzly's spot. The team was definitely missing Charlie McAvoy after the suspension, right? It was a brutal hit. I think he saw red when he was playing against the Panthers. But he gets a 4-game suspension. Deserved. As much as I love McAvoy, no place for that. But Mason Lohrei gets the call, and he moves up onto the big team, and he's just moving the puck very well. He's a big body defenseman. There's potential there. I have to keep my eyes on him. He is not like a Matt Grzelcyk, as in smaller body, faster, explosive player, but I like what I'm seeing out of Lohrei. I think they need that. I think Sweeney gets way too attached to these quick guys. I like Mason Lohrei right now. I mean, we have to see how he develops over the 82-game season, of course, but there's promise there, that's for sure. So we're going to talk about the schedule a little bit now. So the Bruins, they come off a big win against Dallas. That was huge. After a brutal choke last weekend against the Detroit Red Wings, right? You know, they just always play poorly there, so it's unfortunate, but it happens. The big thing with the Bruins that we need to see is this week coming up, because the Bruins have played a lot of bad teams. Played Anaheim twice, Chicago twice, San Jose once so far, but you're going to play them again like next week. This week coming up, I mean, you got Montreal twice. You're going to play Buffalo, Tampa, Detroit. You're going to play the Rangers. Competition's going to stiffen up a little bit coming up. And I think the Bruins need that one. And fortunately, McAvoy's coming back right in time. You're going to need McAvoy for this. But my big take is the Bruins, they beat the bad teams, doing what they're supposed to do. They're beating the bad teams, building up their schedule and their total wins. Now they need to rise up. They need to rise up against big competition. Now, Buffalo, they could be underperforming. I expect more from the Buffalo Sabres. Tampa Lightning, similar story. I'll never write off Tampa. Too much talent in Tampa. Detroit you lost to last time, so you really need to rise up in a big way. Take them down in Game 3. What I saw out of the Dallas Stars game gives me promise in this team. They rose up. They took down a really good team in Dallas. And yeah, the Bruins rolled. The biggest game you're going to see is January 11th at 10 p.m. Bruins in Vegas. Now that is going to be wild. My closing remarks regarding the team, right? We got to talk about the goalies. We're going to talk about the goalies right now. Jeremy Swayman and Mean Lean. Bulldog and Big Lean. When it comes to the two goalies, Ullmark had a huge game against the New York Islanders. 27 saves. Right. Big Lean lost to Anaheim, blowing that game. And then the big thing with the Anaheim one was Zacha failed to clear it. And then the Bruins in general were not clearing the puck. They were not clearing the puck and giving up way too many shots for the Ducks. And the Ducks end up getting a gritty OT win over the Bees, which is the only overtime loss the Bruins have, along with Big Lead falling apart in the Detroit game. The Bruins were leading like 3-1, gave up 3 goals in the last 3 minutes. It was brutal. That was brutal. So I'm calling for it. I want to get it done. I want to trade Ullmark. And I want to bring in a center. I think that makes this team from like a fun young team to a serious contender. And I know you're first place and you have the best record in hockey and all this. I don't know if you still treat them seriously in the playoffs after the collapse in the first round last year. The team that had Bergeron, Krejci, Bertuzzi, and Hall collapse against the Florida Panthers in the first round. They lose all the superstars. And now they're going to beat the Panthers? I don't see it. I think there's a move where you go get an Elias Lindholm from the Calgary Flames. You move Linus Ullmark, and you give Swayman the run. You let him run the show. I think Elias Lindholm gives them that offensive spunk that they need. I trust the defenders right now. I love what I'm seeing out of Lohrei. McAvoy, of course. Lindholm could be better. Lindholm usually shrinks in the playoffs, but it's interesting. It's just something to think about. Elias Lindholm from the Calgary Flames. He already has 2 goals on the season, 6 assists, 8 points, plus minus of -4, so I guess a little more selfish, but it's an offensive spunk for the Bruins. So let me know your thoughts. Let me know your thoughts on, I don't know if Calgary wants your goalie, but you can only play one goalie a game, like at a time. So that's where I'm just like, I don't know. I don't understand the assets. I think I understand rest is important and being able to rely on another guy behind him. But when it comes down to a must-win game, you can only play one of these guys between Swayman and Allmark. And you should pick one. You should pick one. I totally understand the other side where you want to trade Bulldog because you don't believe in him and he's never had the pressure on him. Whereas Allmark has always had the pressure on him. If you want to lean with big lean over Bulldog, I get that too. I just want one of them to go. I think one of them needs to go. Bring in the next center, unless you really love what you're seeing out of Johnny Beecher. But I don't think. I haven't seen Patra in the playoffs. I don't want to have to rely on him in the playoffs. And same with Beecher. Those guys are way too young to just be relying on right now for your offensive spunk. So I think an Elias Lindholm could be the move. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. Have a great rest of your day. We just had a monster Baystate Sports episode, so, take your time with it. It's a 2-hour program. It's crazy. But hey, I'll talk to you. Bruins go on to play the Montreal Canadiens tonight at 7. We'll see how that goes. Have a good night, everybody.